Why is collagen such a hot topic? Well, collagen is the most abundant protein in the body by far. And it is super important for the structure of our skin, hence it's a beauty thing, but it's also important for tendons, joints, ligaments, bone, muscle. I mean, it is found throughout the entire body and it's absolutely critical. One of the key problems is that, well, it declines as we get older. And it declines when we're out in the sun, right? In beautiful Florida, the sun is shining. And yes, we get the vitamin D, but guess what it's doing to the skin and to the collagen? It's degrading, it's damaging the collagen. And so with aging and sun exposure, along with pollution and so many things, it's going downhill. So we need something to supplement with to be able to boost collagen naturally inside of the body. And today, hopefully in my presentation, everyone will get a good feel of why not all collagen peptides are created the same. Some are effective, some are not proven, what really matters, and hopefully we can address all these questions as we go through it today. I just briefly went over this. Look, collagens are going down with pollution, smoking, stress, especially the environment. So what do we do about it? What is our solution? Well, we created this incredible Collagen Plus product. There's a reason behind the plus. It's not your generic or your typical collagen. We have these bioactive collagen peptides, lutein, and ceramides. So we're going to talk about these things. First and foremost, not all collagen peptides are created the same, right? We have these peptides that go through a controlled treatment, and then what happens is they are hydrolyzed to form these different peptides. And what's key to the science here is that there's a specific patent where they found a specific size of peptides or a weight of peptides that is more effective for beauty, and that is 2 kilodaltons. So there are different modes of action of how these peptides work. We have this dual action here where we have these building blocks, but we also have cell signals. So pretty much what happens is these peptides, they bind to receptors on your cell and they stimulate a process to actually make new collagen and make new elastin. We have this unique peptide fingerprint that's absorbed sufficiently intact. What that means is that some of these peptides, they're absorbed intact to be able to stimulate this process. And another key question that comes up is that, hey, what about all these different types of collagen, right? We have collagen type 1, we have type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, etc. Well, and you're going to see products in the marketplace that tout like, oh, we have, this type, or we have 5 different types. And some people think, oh, well, 10 different types must be better than one type, right? No, that's actually not true. When it comes to the structure of these different peptides, they're so similar that the bioactivity of these peptides is independent of the type. What actually matters is getting the size of the peptides. What matters is getting a clinically effective dose of the peptides. And what matters is that if there's actually clinical studies that back up the peptides that you use. And we meet all of those criteria. So what about these bioactive collagen peptides? Well, this is the beginning of the research that was done, showing that these peptides are better than common or generic peptides in terms of stimulating and producing new collagen in your skin cells. And it's much better than gelatin or proline or glycine as well, which are the key amino acids that are naturally found within collagen. And then they went on to do many clinical studies. So these are third-party clinical studies that were done that show differences in increased skin elasticity. They show differences in reduced lines and wrinkles, and they show differences in nails or nail growth. There's actually other studies that have been done as well. One of my favorite pieces, yeah.
Are these, this says it's on the collagen peptides. Were these done on the final product yet, or was this just on the peptides we're using?
This is just on the peptides. In fact, this is the reason why we were so excited about using these peptides in our product. We're like, wow, look at these studies. Look how effective they are. And then we combined it with a lutein and the ceramides to be able to formulate a comprehensive blend. And then we did a clinical study on the blend. So this is all on top of what we get from the blend in our formula.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
That's a good question. So these are third-party studies that were done. And one of the most impressive findings here is the increase in collagen synthesis. So you can see looking at type 1 collagen, there's a 65% increase. Now, I've read a lot of papers about collagen peptides, and you can see increases of 3% or 6% or 11%, nothing close to 65%, to be honest with you. A lot of studies don't even measure collagen, and so this finding is very, very, very impressive. So after all of that, we're like, okay, we have to have these peptides in our product because they're so good, they're effective. They're not your grandma's collagen peptides or your neighbor's peptides that you get, across the street or at a regular retail store. And then what we did is we added the lutein for that radiance and that benefit, combined with the ceramides, and we said, hey, do you know what? Let's do a clinical study to see the benefits and combine it with LumiSpa to see the difference. And this is what we can see here. You can see we have a placebo group on skin texture. We have LumiSpa that does really, really good things. But when you combine collagen and LumiSpa, what do you get? Better results together, right? The added value of beauty from within and good skincare. And then you look at skin radiance as well, right? Placebo, you see some difference, LumiSpa, but then when you combine both together, you see even better results together. And this study we actually published, it's in a scientific journal, and we're happy to share that for those that want to read into some of the details and the rationale behind the study and all of the other findings that we saw. These are just some of the highlights. So maybe this one to finish up on collagen. We get a lot of questions about this. So we have a powder and we have a liquid. Which one is better absorbed, right? And which one is more effective? Well, in terms of the absorption, let me just say this. We have a powder and you mix it with liquid. So it becomes liquid, right? So you're comparing really liquid to liquid. There's no difference in absorption. These are very, very bioavailable. You're going to absorb them both very, very, very efficiently. The only difference really is just the convenience of the pre-made liquid version. It has a different taste, so a different flavor system, and it's already pre-packaged, so it's very convenient and easy to use. But in terms of absorption and benefits, you're going to get the exact same either way. Hope that clarifies that. Okay, do you have any questions for me about collagen, what we just discussed? I know it was a lot really quickly.
And no, that was great. So the first question actually relates to your last slide. Melissa in South Africa wanted to know, is there any chance of doing our collagen in a pill? Like, would that be effective too? Not that we'll do it, but would it work?
There is a possibility, but because you're using 2.5 grams of these collagen peptides, it would require a lot of pills, and that's not going to be very convenient. So yes, while anything is on the table, that to me is not very likely.
Okay. You'll hear this one a lot, I'm sure. I'm a vegan. I'm vegetarian personally, mostly, except for collagen. Is there a good option for a plant-based collagen?
It's a good question. We've looked at that science and looked at that space. There's a few that are popping up, but as of right now, the science just isn't there. The studies, the efficacy. It's kind of a new area in this space that we will continue to watch and continue to follow and consider using it when the science supports it.
And is that true for the marine collagens as well?
Yeah, well, the fish collagen. So I guess it depends on what type of vegetarian you are, right? There's all these different kinds and categories. We've looked at fish collagen. It's usually not quite as effective, at least as this bovine source, in terms of its efficacy and the size and all the research behind it. But yeah, peptides are an interesting area. It's something that we'll continue to look at and explore in the future. We're actively looking at all of these different areas, and it's kind of an exciting time to be in product development. That said, we're sticking with our source for now because it really is the best.
Okay, so I have a great question from Dr. Suzanne Lamont. She always comes up with great questions. What claims can we make with the collagen regarding joint and back support, if any? And then she adds her personal results, which were hide your earmuffs, Tanner, because I know we probably haven't done studies on this, but she said it's actually helped her vocal cords. And I've noticed a change in her voice. And so, she said vocal cords are mostly made up of collagen. I know it helped. What can I personally say about my own results?
Yeah, it's a great question. And to be honest, I mean, we hear feedback and testimonials from people all over, and it's fantastic to hear. The recommendation for, sharing your testimony and what works for you is to align it with the product information page, right? Those have all the approved claims for the product. That's what we recommend that you stick to. Even though we understand and know that, look, sometimes there are benefits above and beyond what we market and what we claim, and those are great. Those are wonderful, but we want you to stick to the marketing. That said, let me just comment on your tendons or joints thing, because there are studies of collagen peptides showing benefits at 5 grams, showing some benefit on joints, tendons, and ligaments. That's the beginning of where we see some nice studies and see some nice benefits. So the focus of our product is going to be about beauty. But what I would tell someone is that if they are interested in some of the tendon, ligament, joint benefits, that if they did take double the dose of our collagen product, then they would get the 5 grams of those peptides, which is an effective dose for those benefits.
You lead me into my next question, which is Christina Cooper Gom's team wanted to know how much collagen may we drink a day and to have it still be absorbed?
Well, there's not really an upper limit on collagen, so you can take a lot and it's still going to be absorbed very efficiently and be very effective in the body. That said, does it mean that you should take tons and as much as you want and you get, double, triple, quadruple the benefits if you take double, triple, quadruple the dose? That's not really how it works. But the single dose is actually super effective for all the beauty benefits. There's actually a clinical study, the one that I shared on elasticity. They actually compared 2.5 to 5 grams and showed that 2.5 was just as effective at 5 grams for skin elasticity. So that's why there's actually a smaller dose of just 2.5, because people are like, hey, why not take 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever it is? And it's like, well, this is the effective dose and more was not better for beauty. So the way I would answer that is, could you take double the dose if you were interested in the tendons and ligaments and joints? Absolutely. That would be the max that I would recommend to just get the biggest benefit and value for the benefits that you're looking for without overdoing it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. So since it's beauty, I mentioned to you my own personal results, which if you're curious about, anyone on the call can send me a message on Facebook. My dentist has noticed changes. So I think gums are part of beauty. Do you? My personal results have been my recession of my gums has improved, decreased. So basically I have more gum now than I used to. Does that count as beauty, Tanner? Is that a claim I can make, or do I just need to keep it as that's my own personal results?
I'll let you answer that. I'm just the science guy here. But look, I will say that, look, collagen, it's the most abundant protein found in the body. It is found in your gums, right? It's found, well, throughout the entire body. So yes, could there be benefits outside of where we market? Absolutely, right? Exactly what that is. And I think it's going to be different for each individual. In fact, there's a theory in nutrition where the nutrients that you give your body, they're going to be utilized in the area where you need it the most. So, and that's part of the reason why I believe everyone's experience can be a little bit different, right? Why results are going to vary from person to person, but also the benefits and the experience that you have might be different from your neighbor. And to me, I actually think that's okay, because I believe that those nutrients or those peptides are doing the benefit in your body where you might need it the most.
It's funny because I have a lot of hair. I don't need more, but my hairdresser keeps, every time I go in, he's like, do you see where the growth is now? Because he noticed quite significantly about 6 months in that I was getting all these new baby hair. In fact, I have pictures of just hair sticking up on the top of my head. And he's like, these are all new baby hairs you have. And now they're about down to here after a couple of years, which actually brings me to the question, how long does it take someone to see results with collagen?
Well, it starts working immediately, but when you see some of the clinical studies, it usually takes about 4 weeks to see some kind of difference in the skin, but better results after 8 weeks and 12 weeks of consumption, and likely even better results after that.
And it's interesting because with my receding gums, I didn't notice the results for probably 6 months. Maybe it was working elsewhere first, because my nails are like amazing now. I'm so happy with them, but maybe it just was working elsewhere first. So very interesting. Christy Malmberg had the question about the different types, 1, 2, 3, 4, and comparison. I feel like you answered that. Was there anything else you'd want to say on the different types? It sounds like it doesn't matter which type as long as you're getting an effective amount and the dose and the size.
Yeah, maybe just to clarify. So we have different types of collagen found in different parts of the body. For example, type 2 is found in your joints, but you can actually see type 1 collagen that is studied to have a benefit on the joint. So even though it's not the exact type that's found in the joint, you need to think about collagen as a big protein, right? It's not going to be absorbed completely as a protein. It's absorbed in its components, right? Smaller peptides or amino acids. So these are kind of the building blocks that either stimulate the new creation of collagen or act as a building block to create new collagen. So this is why the type doesn't matter, because your body's using these building blocks to be able to create all the different types of collagen in the body. What matters is the dose, the size of the peptides, that they're absorbed efficiently, and that it's actually clinically proven to have that benefit.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, one last question on collagen, and then we'll move on to new biome. So since the collagen is, so for those of you who don't know, we have a scanner that measures antioxidant levels non-invasively. Since collagen is scanner certified, meaning it's guaranteed to raise your scanner rate, your scanner score, would that be true if you're already on new skin products that are raising your scanner score?
Yeah, it'll just raise it more, right? It's guaranteed to raise your scan score. So, wherever you begin, if you begin at 10,000, right, you need some work, or 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000, whatever it is, right? You're adding carotenoids, lutein, which is very bioavailable, especially in this format. Really good, really Raman active in terms of its ability to actually, go to the skin and detect that difference. And we did a clinical study and saw a really, really nice increase in your scanner response after taking Collagen Plus. And the reason for lutein is actually, as an antioxidant, you're protecting the collagen, right? So if you're taking something to boost collagen, lutein is one of the best and most effective antioxidants to actually protect the collagen from breakdown, because it's helping to reflect some of that blue light and some of the damage that can occur to your skin and your collagen.
That is such a great point. And while you're talking about that, we didn't really get into the 3 ingredients we didn't go in much depth. Do you want to just talk about the ingredients we added and why?
Sure. So I just talked about the lutein. It's an antioxidant, right? It helps with blue light that we get from the sun, our screens. It's kind of reflects some of that damage and protects the skin. The ceramides are all about moisture and hydration. So they help to kind of keep the skin healthy and hydrated, help with that skin barrier. To me, it's kind of like this umbrella function on the skin, where it helps to keep all the moisture in so that it's not evaporating or drying out. When you're in the sun or in hot and humid climates, you can feel the moisture literally leaving your skin every second. And it helps to keep it all in. So you get the moisture benefit, you get the antioxidant benefit and protection benefit, plus you get all the benefits of the peptides. So it really is a unique blend that you can't find anywhere else.